Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the world's most pressing news stories and break them down for you in a fair and balanced way. I'm your host, Walter, and we're glad you're joining us today. As we start this episode, we're taking a closer look at the evolving relationship between two global powers, China and Russia. Recent developments have shown that these two nations are strengthening their ties, particularly when it comes to energy deals. China has been increasing its purchases of Russian natural gas, with plans to expand pipeline trade and potentially become one of Russia's largest energy customers. This shift is significant, as it marks a notable pivot for Russia away from European markets and towards the East. The move is also seen as a strategic play by China to secure a stable energy supply, despite concerns about potential dependence on a single source. By 2035, it's estimated that up to 40% of China's gas could come from Russia alone. The implications of this deepening partnership are far-reaching. For Russia, the increased demand from China provides a much-needed lifeline for its struggling energy sector. Meanwhile, China is leveraging its strong bargaining position to negotiate favorable prices and terms. But what does this mean for the rest of the world? As the US and other Western nations navigate their own relationships with these two global powers, they'll be watching this development closely. The prospect of a stronger Russia-China alliance raises questions about the balance of power in international relations and the potential for cooperation or competition on issues like trade, security, and energy. We'll continue to monitor this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that the China-Russia partnership is one to watch, with potential consequences for global politics, economies, and energy markets. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into a complex and developing story that's raising questions about national security, international relations, and the use of military force. Reports have emerged that the U.S. has conducted another strike on a boat allegedly carrying drugs off the coast of Venezuela, resulting in the deaths of 4 individuals. According to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the strike was part of an ongoing effort to combat narco-trafficking in the region. However, this latest incident has sparked concerns about the legality and justification of these military operations. The Trump administration has declared that these strikes are being conducted as part of an armed conflict with drug cartels, but some experts argue that this characterization may not be entirely accurate. It's worth noting that Venezuela has denounced the U.S. military presence in the region, calling it a national security threat. The country's government has accused the U.S. of engaging in a pattern of harassment, citing the recent incursion of 5 American fighter jets into Venezuelan coastal airspace. As we try to make sense of this situation, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and evaluate the available information. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more details become available. In the meantime, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this story? Do you think the U.S. is justified in conducting these military operations, or do you have concerns about the potential consequences? Share your opinions with us on social media using the hashtag #ConcreteBlock. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a fascinating story about Andrej Babis, the billionaire politician from the Czech Republic who's been making headlines for his controversial career. From his rise to power as the founder of the ANO movement to his tenure as prime minister, Babis has been no stranger to scandals and criticism. As we dive into his story, it's essential to note that Babis's journey is complex and multifaceted. On one hand, he's been credited with bringing about economic growth and stability to the Czech Republic during his time in office. On the other hand, he's faced numerous allegations of corruption, conflicts of interest, and financial irregularities. One of the most significant controversies surrounding Babis is the Stork's Nest case, where he was granted EU subsidies for a wellness resort near Prague. The investigation into this matter has been ongoing for almost a decade, with multiple rulings and reopenings of the case. Babis has consistently denied any wrongdoing, but the allegations have led to widespread criticism and calls for greater transparency. It's also worth noting that Babis has been accused of using his media outlets to influence public opinion and shape the narrative around his controversies. His business empire has faced scrutiny for employing workers from non-EU countries under questionable conditions, which raises questions about his commitment to social responsibility and labor rights. As a populist leader, Babis has walked a fine line between appealing to his base and maintaining a sense of pragmatism in his policies. While he's not been as overtly anti-EU as some of his counterparts, he still managed to cultivate an image as a champion of Czech interests and a defender against perceived external threats. Ultimately, the story of Andrej Babis serves as a reminder that politics is often a nuanced and messy business. As we strive to make sense of the complex web of alliances, interests, and ideologies that shape our world, it's essential to approach each story with a critical eye and a commitment to fairness and balance. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.